Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2 is a silly game with a lot of silly characters, but some silly characters are better than others, and these are who I consider to be the best variants of each class. I've already done the worst list where I gave the likes of Camo Cactus, AC Perry and Rock P a slating, so now it's time to look at the top dogs, the dominators, the characters that will strike fear into players all around the globe and make them leave a lobby when they top the board with a stupid amount of kills. Please know this is from a console perspective, and the consensus may vary on PC. Starting from the zombies this time, working down from the character selection screen order, let's begin. I'm GMVS, please subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up button. The best imp is the Z7 imp. Well, let's start with an extremely cold take, because this is probably the one unanimously agreed on take on what the best variant in a class is. Dude had the single highest DPS on the zombies team, and he has a mech for when your trigger finger is aching. Not much more needs to be said, well, apart from the fact you have to pay for him. The best superhero is Toxic Brainz. This was a much more popular take a few years ago because people downright slander this guy nowadays. He sucks outside his legendary mode. Legendary mode is only half of the character. I honestly think a lot of this is just contrarianism. Getting a legendary meter just by punching plants a bunch of times feels like cheating, especially when his legendary mode is the most broken one on the zombie side to the point to make the typically weak multi-ball a force to be reckoned with. The only one I can see reasonably contesting Toxic time waster spot at the best super brains is Party Brainz, as his damage outside of his legendary mode is considerably better, but I'd still give Toxic Brainz the edge for having the easiest time getting into his overpowered mode. Just watch out for chompers. The best pyro is Captain Cannon. Manual detonation is pretty damn busted. While it's not putting out insane damage numbers, it has excellent area of effect and can hit enemies around corners. While its projectile speed arguably makes him less effective as a pure sniper compared to stock Deadbeard and Sharkbite, he has a faster projectile speed than the other man-det characters, so he can use this at relatively long distances. His shotgun is pretty bad without upgrades, but it still gets the job done if pressured up close. Add to this some strong abilities and you have one of the most annoyingly busted zombies in Garden Warfare 2. The best foot soldier is Super Commando. This is much less contentious than GW1 because those wackos at PopCap Vancouver genuinely thought it would be a good idea to give this guy 4 ammo. The ammo upgrade was dropped from GW2 and yet he's still the best. Stock Soldier, Sky and Arthur Trooper are all strong contenders, but Super Commando had the #1 fastest reload in the game, is effective at all ranges and is stupidly accurate. His DPS isn't the best in the class, but that doesn't matter when he goes point, click, kill. Garden Warfare 2's best engineer is Mechanic. An example of the strongest variant being arguably the biggest anomaly of the class, and this guy is basically a porky soldier with engineer abilities. And although Soldier is probably the best class in zombies, Engineer's abilities are considerably better, with the stun grenade being deadly when paired with such a powerful fast-firing weapon. Mechanic isn't as accurate as the standard foot soldier, but combines strong damage with excellent abilities and you have one of the best full auto characters in the game. For Scientist, I have Computer Scientist. This is also a subject of debate as most PC players and even a lot of console players would put Astronaut at the top. While Astronaut is the most versatile and the safest choice due to his long range capabilities, I find that the Scientist's abilities are more suited to close range combat, which Astro isn't so strong at. The other big one is Marine Biologist, whose DPS is insane and higher than computers, but I give the nerd the edge because of his reload time, which is less than a second. Also, he gets Crunch Mode, which isn't too difficult to obtain with the aid of healing tools, and allows you to go on an all-out rampage. The best all-star is Hockey Star. I was pretty surprised to find out that Hockey doesn't have the highest damage output of the class, as it totally feels like that in combat. There's a lot of factors here. He's very accurate, has a good reticle, had the fastest projectile speed in the class, the second fastest overheat penalty. He just feels so clean, but it wasn't always like this. On GW1 and the first couple of years of GW2, he had the DPS but overheated ridiculously quickly, and he has a weird glitch where every other time he overheats twice as quick, which made him weak to the point I would say he's the worst zombie in the first game. Thankfully, he got an insane glow up, otherwise known as the reverse Electro Citron, and I'd say he's comfortably the best all-star. Moving on to the plant side now, and first is Iron Citron. This one's between the two legendary Citrons. Party had the advantage of stronger damage output and being able to charge his meter with shared vanquishes, and while he's pretty cracked, I've never been the biggest fan of the laser beam wielding Citrons. Iron has a single high damage shot that has great accuracy, and having high damage numbers means he's more likely to score the final kill and charge his meter. His slower speed is offset by his ball, and the 50 added health makes him nearly unbeatable in 1-on-1s. And oh, did I mention this guy had the single best legendary mode in the game? A 5-shot clip that destroys anything it touches, faster speed, essentially 500 health. Once you get those 2 reload upgrades, this guy is OP. The best Rose is Necros. Rose as a whole is not a particularly strong class, bearing relatively weak abilities and being effective in only mid-range combat, struggling with both close and long-range fights. This Rose has such a good gimmick of a charge shot that reduces the opponent's defense, which is a great support tool for teammates as well as yourself, and unlike every other charge in the game, it's only a single step charge, so you just need to charge for around 1 second to get the max hit. This Rose takes a bit more effort than most of the others to charge a shot and then hit the enemy while they are jinxed, or hit them with another jinx, but this is G02's strongest Rose quite easily. The best corn is Party Corn. Stock kernel corn with a legendary meter, what's not to love? Well, apart from his lazy and horrible design. And as with all of the other party variants, you don't need to deliver the final blow to charge your meter up. He does have a reduced clip compared to the regular corn, and losing 10 shots sounds like a big downside, but you really don't feel it. The ability to charge a meter with shards mean that if you deal enough damage, which you probably will, a teammate can finish off the enemy if you run out of ammo, and you still contribute to achieving party time. Not to mention a great ability set which can get you closer to glory, and party time is just busted. The best peashooter is Electro P. Remember, this is console, guys. Yes, Agent and Law are basically the gods of the P family on PC, and they're still pretty close to the top on console. Well, Agent is anyway. I think Electro comes out on top. He already has Splash, plus chain lightning damage, and of course his biggest selling point, manual detonation. This guy is comically easy to play once you get the hang of him, and these attributes add up to who I would say are the best crowd control on plants by a wide margin. Add to this the fact he gets 2 reload upgrades, which gives him the fastest reload time out of any plant, plus increased movement speed over the other Ps for some reason, and this guy strikes fear into any lobby. Plasma is also a strong contender due to his high damaging charge shot, alongside Splash and no damage drop off whatsoever, but love him or hate him, Electro takes the crown. The best chomper is Twilight. No, I'm not just saying this just to stay on the good side of the GW3 concept guy. The pay-to-win plant, much like the Z7 imp, rules over his class. He pretty much combined the strongest attributes of armor and hot rod chomper, as he deals as much damage as the former and moves at almost the same pace of the latter. Plus the Twilight warp, which is an excellent mobility tool that is difficult to counter. He does have less health than a lot of the class, which means he can be one hit by impunt, but it's a pretty minor thing. The best sunflower is Stuffy. Pretty stiff competition as people discovered Mystic in the past few years, who can absolutely laser zombies even without the charge, and while she's arguably the best for sheer power, I think there's a few weaknesses. She is extremely easy to pressure up close if she doesn't have a charge, plus she isn't the most accurate due to having the standard sunflower reticle. Stuffy's damage is consistent, she's quite accurate despite having mild recoil, and although she has a bit of drop off at range, she's basically an upgrade over Reg and Shadowflower, and plus she has a sun drop gimmick, which is mostly a side trait but is useful to have for both yourself and teammates, so she had the support aspects going for her as well. Also, I'm going to mention Alien. Not that I think she's up there with the best, but she is my single favourite plant in the game, and this is my video, I make the rules. And finally, Cactus, and I have Future Cactus. She has the highest single damage shot in the game, cracking triple digits and one-shotting scientists. Compared to Mystic, she has a much better reticle, and trumps pretty much every other Cactus as her gimmicks suit the Cactus playstyle perfectly, and she can still blaze away with uncharged shots, although the uncharged projectile speed is a bit slower, plus her ammo is lacking just a little. Petrified Cactus is a contender due to the strength of manual detonation, but I don't think her ability set suits her playstyle. Overall, Cyborg Cactus reigns supreme. That's my list, what are your thoughts? Discuss in the comments below, but please keep it civil. Check out another video in the end screen, consider becoming a member if you want to support the channel and get some benefits. I'm GMVS, thanks for watching. Peace.